I don't know if you remember last week, inshallah, I told you that we'll be doing Makharij again. And then this week, inshallah, we'll be looking at Sifaat. Inshallah, we'll definitely start our sessions by hadith. Inshallah, every session will start by this hadith, this ayah, and then the next slide is the hadith. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَرَتِّلْ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Recite the Quran slowly and distinctly. This is the translation of the ayah. And also this hadith as well. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it. I've already explained all these hadiths last week, so inshallah, it's a reminder, keep us motivated and focused, inshallah, in the sessions. Next hadith is من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. So like I said before, every letter that we recite from the Quran will be as if will count as 10 rewards basically. So saying Alif Lam Mim, Alif is a letter, Lam is a letter, Mim is a letter. So in total I'm getting three hasanat. So alhamdulillah, like I said, it's much easier to gain rewards than actually making sins. So this is one of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah, without further ado, inshallah, we'll be looking at Sifaat. So we stopped at yesterday, last week, sorry. Yeah, Sifaat. So the characteristics of the letters of Sifaat. So this will assist you in articulating the letters properly, distinguishing them from one another, especially when certain letters share the same Makharij. So last week we looked at where the letters come out from. Remember, there was the categories where letters come out from your throat, nose, etc. Inshallah, we'll be looking. It'll be nearly the same, but just slightly different. This time, we're gonna try to, like it says here, distinguish the letters. So, like ha and ha, these letters where a lot of people get confused on. So, like I said, ha, ha, gha and kha, and kaf and qa. So inshallah we'll be looking at how to distinguish them, and especially when the letters come out, share the same makharij. So yes, characteristics of the letter Sifaat. Sifaat are broken into two categories. So the first category is the letters that have an opposite, and then the second category is the letters that don't have opposite. Inshallah, I will explain what this means here. So inshallah, we'll begin with the first category, which is the letters that have an opposite. So the Sifaat that have an opposite. So you got the hems and you got the jahran. Okay. So the hems is a slight continuation of the breath upon pronunciation of the letter when it carries a sukoon. So the 10 letters of hems, yeah. There's ta, tha, ha, kha, sin, sheen, sad, fa, and kaf, and ha. These are all the 10 letters of hems. Okay. So there's a slight breath, which it says here perfectly actually. It's a slight continuation of breath upon pronunciation of the letters, of these letters. Inshallah, if you struggle with remembering the letters of hems and stuff, inshallah, the next few slides it tells you how to actually like Qutb Jad, for example, the letters of Qalqala. Like a lot of people, they know the letters of Qalqala by this, the famous Qutb Jad. So when they say Qutb Jad, they say Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Da. These are the 5 letters of Qalqala. And they know that because of Qutb Jad. So inshallah, we'll be looking at the same thing, inshallah. And then you got the Jahran. So this is a stoppage of the breath upon pronunciation of the letter with a sukoon. So this applies to all letters excluding those of hems. So these are the letters that, you know, end with a sukoon here. These very, very good explanations. If you read this, it's actually a very good explanation. So yeah, I'll read it again. Stoppage of the breath upon pronunciation of the letters with the sukoon. This is just a quick overview, inshallah, and like last week, we'll look at it in more detail, inshallah. So we look at the first category, and this is the category that have an opposite. So this is called isti'la, okay? Sorry about that. So this is the elevation of the back of the tongue toward the upper palate upon pronunciation. Due to the elevation of the tongue, the letters are pronounced thick and heavy, okay? So the first sentence is linked with the Makharij, so we looked at that, inshallah. We know where the palate is. If you don't know, inshallah, you can look at the recording that we did last week. But we looked at where the letters come out from, you know, the tongue touching the upper palate, blah, blah, we done all of that. The second sentence is actually the important bit. This is where it comes under Sifaat. Due to the elevation of the tongue, the letters are pronounced thick and heavy. So essentially, all these letters are thick and heavy. Remember when I always trying to emphasize the importance of heavy letters and light letters. Yeah, I've said it in Ramadan. For those of you who are with me in Ramadan, even before we started these Tajweed lessons, I've always said heavy letters and light letters, which is very important. So the letters are kha, sa, bad, bad, va, gha, and qaf. These are all heavy letters, yeah? Kha, sad, bad, ba, va, gha, qaf, ghain, qaf. These are all heavy letters. And inshallah, we look at the light letters very soon. This is the istifal. So the lowering or depressing of the back of the tongue away from the soft palate upon pronunciation of the letter. So its letters are all those that do not have the istifal. Okay, so the istifal are all the letters are not mentioned here. So for example, ba, lam, these are all letters of istifal. So basically, what I was trying to say is these are the heavy letters, and istifal are the light letters. Yeah, inshallah, we'll towards the end when people start reciting, I will inshallah let you know light letters and the heavy letters. So now the next bit, the sifat that have an opposite, and one topic is the shidda. So this is a stoppage of the voice upon pronunciation of the letter due to the strong dependence on the exit of the letter. So its letters are 8: alif, ba, ta, jim, da, ta, qaf, and kaf. Okay, so one famous example from the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahim. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Yeah, I can see this very strong dependence on the shadda here. Wa tab. Yeah, not wa tab. Wa tab. And also last week we looked at the way we adjust our lips to say the ba. Remember we said the ba is heavier than the meme. So ba. So you close your lips for both letters, meme and ba, but ba is much more, you know what I mean? You have to, like a bouncy, echoey sound you have to make with the letter ba. So this is, this letter comes under the shidda. And now we've got the tawassut. So the sound, the letter does not stop as in shidda, nor does it flow as in, you know, to follow. So ra, ayn, lam, mim, and noon. So these are all the letters. This is quite hard to explain. This tawassut. I mean, this is this is they put this in the simplest way as possible. The sound of the letter does not stop as in Shidda, nor does it flow as in Rikhawa. So you don't stop on these letters. Most of these letters are just furrow letters. So you don't have to, for example, Shidda. There's no Shidda on these letters, basically. No, remember what I said in the last slide? Strong dependence. There's no strong dependence on these letters. The strong sound. And here, as you can see, the Rikhawa is the opposite of Shadda, the continuation of the voice upon pronunciation of the letter. So its letters are 16, excluding those of Shadda and Tawassul. Then next one, this is a big one, Al-Itbaq. So the contact between a part of the tongue and the upper palate upon articulation of the letter. Yeah. As you can see, a lot of this is very familiar with the Makharij as well. So for those of you who did the Makharij with me last week, this shouldn't be too easy. Shouldn't be too hard. Sorry. So a lot of it is just repetition here. Contact between a part of the tongue and the upper palate upon articulation of the letter. So this attribute is necessary even when its letters carry a kasra. The letters of Itbaq are the strongest letters and the heaviest when pronounced. So sa, ba, ta, ta, and va. These are the heaviest letters. So what you need to know, is these 4 letters are the heaviest letters, okay? The first one here, the explanation as where I'm circling my cursor on. This is Makharij. We've already said that last week, where the letters should come out from. But what you need to know is these 4 are the heaviest letters. Sa, ba, ta, and va. The next one is Al-Infitah. So the separation or opening between the tongue and the upper palate upon pronunciation of the letter. So if you already have, if you know how to speak Arabic, you can already tell Infitah means opening. So the opening of, that's what Infitah. So its letters are all those that do not have Itbaq. So Infitah are all the letters, all letters of the Arabic alphabet except these. Sa, ba, ta, and va. So it's not too hard. Sifaat is not, it's not like how can I put it? It's not like, I wouldn't say it's a small. It's not a big topic, but it's what's the word? It's not as significant. That's the word. Significant. So you don't need to this should already be there if you know what I mean. So sa, ba, all these letters, Sifat and all that. But if you already know the Makharij, like I did last week, Sifat should already be there, if you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's not really that hard. Like I said, as long as you've done, if you focused last week on the Makharij, this is just basically repetition or continuation. So yeah, the next slide we got. Yeah, so this is the way where you can learn the letters. So remember what I said, the Qalqala letters, people learn it by saying Qutb Jad. So Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Da. All these are Qalqala letters, yeah? And people remember it by saying Qutb Jad. So here, Hams, people remember it by saying فحثه شخص سكت. Yeah? So I know it's a bit hard. This is longer than Qutb Jad, of course. So these are all the Hems letters, yeah? The Hems. And then here you got the Isti'la, Khussi, Baghdin, Qidh. Yeah, so this is how people, learn it. I know this is much harder than Qutb Jad, but it's nice to know anyway. And I think there's another one of this, yep. The Shid letters, أجد قط بكت. أجد قط بكت. Yeah. And then the twisted letters is Lin Umar. Lin Umar, literally. That's it. This is an easy one to remember. Lin Umar. So the twisted letters, remember Lin. So you got the Lam Noon, and then Umar, which is the rest. Ain, Mim, and Ra. Itbaq as well. Here, the Itbaq one, as you can see, there isn't any because Itbaq is only 4 letters anyway. It's easy to remember. Sa, Da, Ta, Dha, and Infitah are all the remaining letters. Yeah, Sifaat is not that hard at all. So right, so this is the next one, Sifaat, that do not have an opposite. So all the previous slides that I've just covered now, all the letters that have an opposite. And now, inshallah, we start in the letters that don't have an opposite. So you got the safir. It is a whistling sound which accompanies the letter when pronounced from the upper and bottom teeth. So like if you know Arabic, you know that safir is just, it means whistle. That's what actually safir just literally means whistle. Which is it makes sense here. It is a whistling sound which accompanies a letter when pronounced from the upper and bottom teeth. So this this attribute becomes stronger when the letter carries a sukoon. Its 3 letters are za, sin, and sad. So what it's trying to say, it's when these letters have sukoon, so za, sin, and sad, the letters become stronger. Yeah. You know, this is not something that people don't do. It's just something that you need. Remember, we said that part of Tajweed is we need to learn the theory. Yeah. So when you do the sukoon on za, sin, sad, what you're already making it heavy. You're already making it stronger. What you need to know. So the point of this slide is just to it's really hard to phrase it, but so what I'm trying to say is when you say this when you say the za, san, sin, and sad with sukoon, you actually make the letter stronger, but you don't know that you're doing it. You know what I mean? You just have to know that you are doing it. If you know what I'm trying to say, it's very hard to actually phrase it. But yeah, so these letters, they become stronger when there's a sukoon, when you end these letters with a sukoon. Yeah, so the Qalqala, remember I said already, most of you should know Al-Qalqala. The letter is pronounced with a strong echo bounce when it has a sukoon. So remember what I said to you people, no Qutb Jad. For those of you that don't know, the letters Qutb Jad, so that is Qaf, Ta, Jim, Ba, and Da. And people remember by saying Qutb Jad. Qutb Jad. So when you see, well, most of the Quran anyway, if you open the Quran that with color, Tajweed ones, the Qalqala will be the blue color. Not all the time, but most Masahif have the blue color with Tajweed. So, for example, there's many Qalqalas in the Quran. So, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. You see that? If there's no Qalqala, it would be وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. وَالطَّارِقِ. But because it's Qalqala, it will be وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقِ. النجم الثاقب. إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ. So as you can see, all the letters there, والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب. So you just like it says here, just make that strong echo bounce on the letter. I know that we are just doing Qaida right now. But if you, inshallah, after the session or whenever you read the Quran, make sure you look at these the Qalqala letters, because Qalqala is very common in the Quran, so you need to make sure that you know what it is and how to say it properly. Yeah, so there's three types of Qalqala. So you got the minor one, the sughra one. When the letter with the sukoon is in the middle of the word or at the end of the word, but the reader will not stop on it and will continue reciting. Yep. So remember the example I gave was that will come under the major one when the letter comes at the end of a word and the reader stops on it. So as you can see here, I'm stopping on the qalqala. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. That's when the kubra, the major qalqala. So when the letter comes at the end of the word and the reader stops on it, whether it is because it is the end of a verse for some other reason, or maybe because I'm running out of breath, I need to stop there. So I have to look for an example here. You know, it's qalqala is everywhere in the Quran, so you actually need to make sure you know this. For example, تدعو من أدبر وتولى. تدعو من أدبر وتولى. This comes under minor because, as you can see, تدعو, the da is a qalqala, but it's in the middle of a word. تدعو is one word. Yeah. So when the qalqala is in the middle of a letter, or sorry, middle of the word, it's the minor qalqala. So تدعو من أدبر وتولى. So yeah, like I said before that, the Sifaat is just knowing the theory, so knowing which was the minor and the major one. But ultimately there isn't a difference. You just need to know that this is the minor one, and this is the major one. Skip music. Okay. Okay, inshallah, the next we're still doing the sifat that do not have an opposite. So you got the next one is the lean. Okay, the pronunciation of the letter is very easy. Its two letters are ya, and waw. So like I said, sifat is just knowing what they are. So lean, the ya and waw. Inhiraf, the leaning of the tongue away from its makharij to another makharij. Its letters are two, ra and lam. So this is just makharij. Yeah, there you go. Makharij and sifat are very, very linked together. So the leaning of the tongue away from its makhraj to another makhraj. Its letters are two, ra and lam. So when that happens, this is called inhiraf. Okay, inhiraf. And then takreer is to repeat the letter. Its letter is only one, which is ra. Okay, so takreer, if you know Arabic, like I said, it would be very easy. Takreer just literally means repeat. Yeah. So careful attention should be paid by reciter to avoid the attributes of inhiraf and takreer from occurring. So yeah, its letter is only ra, so that's what we need to know, really. So as you can see here, the expulsion of the air in the mouth upon pronunciation of the letter. So the letter is only sheen. Yeah, sheen. You know, the expulsion of air. Sorry, can you please mute your mics if you don't mind? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, the next slide, inshallah. Should I do this? Okay, we'll do it. So the istilala, yeah, is the extension of the makhraj on the letter Dad until it reaches the makhraj of the letter Lam. So it's utilizing the whole palate. The flow of sound continues when pronouncing the Da because of the attributes of Rikhawa. So as you can see, this is very, very detailed, and that's why I wasn't really sure to do it now. But this is a just continuation of last week, really. It's all still makhraj. So it's just telling you that, you know, utilize the whole palette, and then the flow as well. So all of this is under makhraj. So nothing really too important here. Yep. So I think we've done Sifat. So yeah, it's just really, really simple. It's just makhraj, but it's just telling you the theory. You know, for example, like the name of this. So this is istila, this is istiftah, blah blah blah. So it's just telling you the names of the tajweed. You just learn the name of the tajweed. Qalqala, ghunna, you know, and these are takreer as well. All these, they're not really important. You know what I mean? Inhiraf, all these, this is not really important. The tajweed that you should know, inshallah, we look at that maybe another time, is the ones like, you know, ikhfa, ghunna, without qalqala. So these are the really important ones. Inshallah, we look at that next week, and I'll spend more time on that one because that one is much more important. You know, ikhfa, qalqala, med as well. How many harakat med needs to be, the ghunna as well, shadda and the ghunna, how to say that. So inshallah, this is a whole nother topic. We might do that next week, the week after. But yeah, all these what you're learning right now, the lean stuff, it's good to know. It's good to know, but it's not, you know, other than qalqala, it's not really that important. Some of these I haven't really looked at for like years actually. So you know, I've done this before in my course, but yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago, and it's never came up. In those 3 years, it's actually my first time. It's like I'm just learning it now as well because I've forgotten nearly everything. So it's not really important. It's always good to know, you know, especially if you're going to teach in the future or something like that. You know, if teach advanced Quran or something, it's always good to know, especially if it's to do with the Quran. Of course, why not learn it? But yeah, the main one is actually the Qalqala. So we looked at that one, the minor Qalqala, and the major one. So all you need to know is that the minor one is a Qalqala that comes in the middle of the letter, middle of the word. Let me see, letter, the middle of the word. So we said that already. And then you got the major one, which comes at the end when you end it. So وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. You're ending the letter with the qaf, and the qaf is qalqala. So this is the major one. And yeah, that's it, inshallah. So this is the walkthrough the presentation. And inshallah, I think this is where we stop the recording, and maybe get some of you as well to, you know, try put what you learned.